Hello all my YouTube friends, this is John at Left-Handed Models, and this is my final on my big rig build, and a little report on the kit and the decals. Of course, it's not a brand new kit, so it could have had little better decals. First off, for some reason there's an extra tire. There's not an extra rim, there's an extra tire, so I'll keep that around. The kit built up really good. Everything fits. I would not recommend it for somebody that doesn't know at least a little bit about diesel trucks, because the orientation of the turbos to the blowers is just not clear in the directions. There's the things like the wing and the rear assembled just correctly. That's all I can say. It's correct. The fifth wheel is a fake fifth wheel, and it's chrome, but there is a decal in the kit for it, and so I went ahead and put that on. There's no hole like a regular fifth wheel would have, you know, for streamlining, such as you could streamline a semi. The attachment points for all of the tubing for the exhaust is right where it shows. And so I used a Molotov pen, but my luck with Molotov pens is just not that great. The engine is a very nice model by itself. Everything seems to fit correctly, and in the end, the exhaust does all line up, so that's good. The big bad part with the directions is where to put stuff. It's very vague on how the exhaust attaches and where this should connect. It was vague, like non-existent, how the cab attaches, how the rear attaches. The hood, nice little one-piece hood, well, big, has attachment points to go to the truck. The directions show that these pins, I don't know if you could see those pins, yes. Those pins are shown in the directions to point out. Okay, which is not really a problem, and they do glue on correctly there, but there is no room between the radiator and these holes for the hood attachment points to go. The radiator is positively located, and so it's not like you can move it back, and even if you could, then it would hit the fan. So just recently I finally figured that out, and popped these off, well, cut them off and switched them around, and I'm going to let them dry for a whole nother day and see if I can get that attached correctly. It looks like it's going to fit okay when all is said and done. This decal is one piece. Now this is the optional decal, and this is what's called the stock decal. And so as you can see, it's one piece. It does have a nice little spot here to locate it. But what I did was I taped the hood and the cab together, put the decal on, and then cut it. Now, that turned out pretty good. On the hood, these top decals are all one piece to begin with, so they had to be put on while it was taped together and glued. And luckily I noticed all of this, that the decals would have to go behind these wings, because the directions say to put the wings on first. It doesn't even mention when you should do decaling or painting or anything like that. There's a blue stripe on the real truck that goes around, well, it goes around here, goes around the fender and all the way back down the truck. And I don't trust myself with not having bleed through, and so I left that off, which I think there's enough color. it looks pretty good. The windows is a one-piece window. So when you get it done, there's no, you're not going to get dust inside because it's sealed up, which is nice. I like that. It has the little side window out here, which on a drag racing truck I don't think you would need. You can tell the suspension and everything is set up to run racing. It's race either drag strip or Bonneville, and I understand it still holds the world record for the fastest semi on Bonneville, but it's a lot of horsepower to do that. So, oh, the decals. Some of the decals, such as this long one, came out perfect. And it laid down straight. Well, for the most part, they did. Things like this were happening, chips. And when I went to do this one, it was laying down really good until it broke apart. Total of 6 pieces. I pieced them together, not too bad there. And then when I coated them with my my floor polish, it held them all down. So at least they'll be held down. The decals do wrap around the wing. Oh man, that's not straight. Looks like my my wheelie bars are not straight. These parachutes must have been just for looks, because there's no way they're going to slow this down from 150 or so miles an hour. But I would imagine that the just backing out of the throttle would slow it down fast enough with wind resistance. So that's my take on it, and it wasn't too bad a build as far as continuing to go through things. It was just a little frustrating with the decals and the fitment of where the cab should go so that everything lined up. I had to, there are stands underneath the cab that mount to the frame, and when I first put it on, the hole for the exhaust was half a hole too high. And so I knew the hood wouldn't fit either. So I went ahead and filed some of that out so that I could drop this down. It fits better on the back here, and so on. And then that's it for my big rig build, and I really like it. And that's sponsored by Jeffsmodelgarage, I'm pretty sure. Now I want to update on my airplanes. This one is one I brought up to do in between stuff, and as you can see, this is where what happens to my taping. And boy, I had that down as hard as I could. I painted the silver first and then the red. And on this side, pretty much no bleed through. But on this side, I had some problems. And it looks like I got the tail not quite straight, but it's finally done. The thing that took a while was decals. These decals were so yellowed that they never would have worked. I mean, you can still see, maybe you can see, the yellow wing. There's a V-23 here in white, and you can still see it. Now, once I got done, the reason it took so long was because the only window I've got open to the sun is in the morning. And here in Oklahoma, it's a lot of rainy days lately. And so it took about 2 weeks to finally get the yellow away that I wanted. And then I sprayed it with a clear. It's actually a matte clear. And that held them together so that I could use them. And so that turned out pretty good, actually, in the end. It's a nice little airplane. And it's a Avia C2. Looks pretty close to that, except my propeller doesn't go around that fast. And then I have 2 kits in one box that I had of Fiat CR32s. and there were enough decals, even though there was only one set of decals, but it had multiple markings, so I was able to build two different planes, two different markings. They were both listed as silver paint jobs as opposed to camouflage like this. This is, I don't do camel very good, not yet. I have a few that are good, but and these turned out pretty good. Now this one has the stock cowling, and then this one has the cowling I made. And so it looks a lot different, and I didn't get the gap filled, but as far as looking at the planes, it's not too bad. So I'm real happy with the builds overall. They didn't take too long. And so that's my update there. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you would, please, and give me a likes up or a thumbs up for a like. And I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.